Welcome everyone to Portland, Oregon, Providence Park, the site of the 2021 Women's International Champions Cup. 2 semifinals coming your way tonight from Portland. Jen Hildreth, former U.S. International, Lori Lindsay on the call. And Barcelona and Lyon are first 2 teams to kick off this incredible tournament. 2 NWSL teams coming up later tonight. Portland Thorns and the Houston Dash. Got to look at the teams. Plenty of star power, international talent out there on the field this evening, getting ready for our kickoff. All 4 teams in this tournament had to earn their way in as champions in 2020. Barcelona winning the Spanish League, Lyon winning the French League and the Champions League, although Barcelona took that title from them just a few months ago in 2021. And the Houston Dash winning the Challenge Cup in 2020 in the NWSL. The Portland Thorns, the Fall Series champions in the NWSL. So it is a championship group here, Lori, as these 4 teams fight to earn that title of best team in the world.
Yeah, we are certainly in for a treat, especially with these 2 teams, the best and most dominant teams in Europe currently. But I'll be curious to see how they approach these games right in the middle of preseason. Are they going to manage and rotate players, or will they look to really kind of push the limits physically and get after it?
And we get a chance to see both some tremendous veterans for both teams, the captains meeting there. Perfect examples of that. Alexia for Barcelona and Wendy Renard for Lyon. And some new faces as well. As you mentioned, it is preseason. These teams in Europe gearing up for their regular seasons about to begin. Katja Koroleva will be our referee tonight. And this is something special for these 2 teams as well, getting an opportunity to meet at this point as they build what a bar they're going to have set, Lori, to understand where they come up against another team that is certainly considered one of the best out there. In Portland, Oregon, Providence Park, the site of this 3rd edition of the Women's International Champions Cup. Our first semifinal getting ready to kick off. Let's take a look, Lori, at the starting lineup tonight for Barcelona.
Yeah, they're in a 3-5-2, Jen, and this is an experienced Barcelona side. 10 out of these 11 starters play with their national team outside of number 19, Bruna, the 19-year-old striker, but we'll come down to those 3 in the middle of Patri, Alexia, and Aitana, pulling the strings and dictating the tempo tonight.
That is an incredible number, by the way, to consider 10 of these players international experience with their national team. That's why we say some of the best in the world, and certainly that applies to this Lyon team as well.
Yeah, they're in their 4-3-3, and most notably, it's the young guns on that left-hand side of defense. Number 4, Basha, the 20-year-old, and then 18, Samba, the 17-year-old, looking to get a good start against a high-powered team of Barcelona, but it's Marjorie and Van de Donk in that midfield, the attacking mid. They'll look to play the final pass into that speedy front line.
Lyon, so long considered the best professional women's club out there, and for good reason. 14 consecutive French League titles, 5 consecutive Champions League titles. Those streaks snapped, however, in 2021, so they're coming in hungry. Katja Koroleva will try to keep things under control. Our center referee leading the crew. And for Barcelona, are they the new number 1, the new queens of European soccer? Off we go from Providence Park. How beautiful it is to see that traditional Barcelona jersey, the red and the blue stripes. And then for Lyon, all in white. Patri immediately feeling some pressure from Lyon. They take it away. A left-footed shot is not on target.
And not a bad idea, though, from Lyon early on. Something that we talked to Sonia Bonpastor, the Lyon coach, yesterday about pressing, getting after this Barcelona side early on in this match, see if they can put that back line under pressure.
Sonia Bonpastor, familiar name, longtime French international. She played for Lyon as well. She also played here in the United States for the Washington Freedom, your teammate in the WPS, Lori. Nice little reunion with you two yesterday.
It certainly was. What a character.
And first woman ever to lead this Lyon club. So certainly a lot of weight to carry. And she's well aware of it and ready to continue the incredible tradition this team has had. This is Danielle Van de Donk, had it for a moment for Lyon, number 17, one of the new players for this Lyon side. International with the Netherlands, just coming back from Japan. Amel Majri stepping in, number 7, to win it for Lyon. There's Amandine Henry, played for the Portland Thorns for a couple of years in the NWSL, number 6 in the middle. Aitana Bonatti in the midfield, number 14, passes off to Patry. Bruna, number 19, you mentioned her in the lineups. Lori, the only player out there for Barcelona not to have appeared with the senior national team, but give her time. She's just 19 years old.
So much experience on this Barcelona side. Not only the Spanish national team players, but you also have the likes of Graham Hansen from Norway, Sona Gorcevic, the Swiss international. Just a lot of experience playing at the highest level.
Yeah, certainly for both of these teams in the countries where they are based, it's where they have the most internationals. But yes, there are some from other countries as well. Wendy Renard, such a familiar face for France, anchoring things in the middle of that defense for Lyon. And then a new face in goal, Christian Endler, just got back playing in the Olympics for Chile. Some space outside for Marta. Longtime member of the Spanish national team, Marta Torrejon. Former captain for that national team as well. Beautiful day turned into evening here in Portland. The ball just a bit behind. And it was Sona Gorcevic. This name should also be familiar, played here in Portland as well, coming back to a place that she said she loved to play. Sona Gorcevic with Portland in 2018 and 19. And there's the new head coach for Barcelona, Jonathan Giraldez. Just took over in July. And interesting, really, Lori, that both of these clubs so successful now under new management.
We should get the sense that it's freshening up the coaching staff, continuing to push the limits that both of these clubs can find, and especially with Lyon. Foul here to set up for Barcelona, but especially for Lyon, Sonia Bonpastor coming in after losing to PSG in the quarterfinals of Champions League, also losing to PSG in the French League. Knew they needed to make some changes. Sonia Bonpastor, been involved with the academy the past 7 years, said she was suited for this role, steps in seamlessly.
Marta.
And Jen, we mentioned coming into this in the starting lineup in a 3-5-2 for Barcelona. They're actually in a 4-3-3, but it will look like a two-back at times with Paredes and Lyon holding down in that back line, but they will send Sona Gorcevic and Marta forward to get high, especially with the amount of possession Barca keeps.
There you see Sonia Bonpastor. Took over in April. Former captain of the French national team and a WPS All-Star when she played for the Washington Freedom. Oh, this could be trouble. Barcelona on the attack. This is Bruna, the teenager, 19 years old, looking for some help. Sona Gorcevic overlaps, but Bruna keeps it. Caroline Graham-Hansen. Step over, not the finish she wanted.
But a really good look from Barcelona, being able to switch the point of attack. They find Bruna early on, see why she's out in the field, running at that back line, but then they're able to keep possession. And again, Graham Hansen, not the ball that she wants, but they want her in those wide positions, faced up, taking on 1v1.
Graham Hansen, a part of Barcelona's first ever Champions League title in 2021, but relatively new to the club. The Norwegian international was the team's first signing in the 1920 season. The reputation of Barcelona does suit them well. You want to see the beautiful game. You do often see it when you have Barcelona on the field, be it the men or the women. Marta. Graham Hansen. Renard handles for Lyon.
And this will be the test for Lyon in this game. Early on, we're already seeing how much possession Barcelona has. Lyon having to drop deep to make sure that they stay compact, because Barcelona has weapons all over the field to be able to penetrate, whether it's through passing, whether it's through dribbling. Now once Lyon wins the ball, can they look to execute on that counterattack? They do have pace and power up top to be able to find those gaps that Barcelona has left, especially with the numbers they push forward.
Both teams talking yesterday about coming in and being able to make a statement. Such a good challenge to play one another, such a good challenge to come here to the United States. It's a different type of team. Another giveaway. Barcelona. Aitana Bonmati. Graham Hansen on it in the box. There is some contact. And that is one of the younger players out there for Lyon trying to defend. I believe that was Basha getting in there and gets away with it.
And it was a good first touch from Graham Hansen to be able to set herself up. But as you mentioned, Jen, Basha just getting back to recover.
Actually, it was Millar in there, I believe. My apologies on that. It's nervy for a young defender to be in that situation. Wasn't afraid to make the tough tackle, though. Flick forward, nobody home. Got another look at it. Was indeed some contact, but no whistle from our referee. Henry charging forward. Was perhaps hoping for a run from Millar. There is some inexperience there on that Lyon front line. Millar just 21 years old. And another bad ball in the back. This is Mariana. Takes the shot, and Barcelona has the early lead.
And it's a forced ball on one end that forces the giveaway, and then it's just a couple passes to get Mariana in. It's a perfect run, little inside to out, times it, no one picks her up. She gets in behind Renard's back shoulder, and then look at that pass. She doesn't have to lose her stride and has all the time in the world just to pick it out, and that's a good finish. Far low into the corner pass Endler. Mariana, well done, just to get her head up, find that far post. But it's on the other side for Lyon, just a forced pass from Henry, and that's what we're talking about in terms of the execution in the final third once Lyon has the ball, because they're not going to have much of the possession. So what do they do when they do win it? They have to take better care of it.
And Barcelona perhaps bringing back some nightmares for Chelsea. We know how quickly this team can strike. You saw it in the Champions League final. 4 goals. And they came in quick succession in that Champions League win for Barcelona. Mappy Lyon in the middle of that back line for Barcelona, number 4.
And it's just so smooth from Barcelona. They get a lot of praise for their attacking ability, but the numbers they get behind the ball so quickly to smother the opposition's final pass and force the quick turnovers. The best in the world. Another good look at Mariana and her finish. There's so much time and space after she makes the run, gets in behind. All the time in the world to be able to pick that far post out.
Mariana Caldente, 25-year-old, over 40 appearances with the Spanish national team, part of their 2019 World Cup squad, as many of these players were. Irene Paredes. Paredes joining Barcelona from PSG in France. What a season PSG had. Much to Lyon's displeasure last year's PSG snapping Lyon's 14-year run as champions in the French league. And then, for good measure, knocking them out of the Champions League. A different look that time for Barcelona. Doesn't amount to much, but maybe not a bad idea just to make Lyon think about it.
You know, that's been one of the knock in terms of Spanish football, and even on the women's Spanish national team, in terms of just playing short balls, not looking to stretch the field, but it's another aspect of their game that they've added in, layered in. Interesting fact that we heard yesterday, Jen, was just the fact after this 2019 Champions League final in which Lyon beat Barcelona 3-1. They came in, it was a big turning point for them. What are the areas that we need to improve upon? The physicality of their game. They brought in a strength and conditioning coach, have really taken to that. And as we see here, just the technical and tactical ability added in already, but then you add in the physical aspect to be able to keep up with some of these other European powerhouses. Just pure domination. We've seen that with them winning the treble this year, and as you mentioned earlier, the 4-0 Champions League win against another great side of Chelsea.
Barcelona coming off the best season in club history and looking to continue to build, add some more hardware. They could do so here in Portland. This is the first of 2 matches, all the teams playing tonight. Portland and Houston out of the NWSL, our second semifinal coming up later tonight. And then on Saturday, we'll have the championship and the 3rd place match of this tournament. Neither side completely at full strength here for these teams. So used to seeing Kadisha Buchanan in that back line next to Renard for Lyon. The Canadian gold medalist, played collegiate soccer at West Virginia University, but the Olympians still trickling back in, both internationally and here in the United States. You may have a chance to see some more of those on Saturday, though. Tough tackle in the middle of the field as Danielle Van de Donk came crashing in on Alexia.
But that's better from Lyon in terms of their pressure. We saw the first few minutes, them stepping up, looking to press, pick off balls higher up the field. And then as Barcelona has gained the possession, force Lyon into a more of a defensive posture. But this is better, stepping themselves up, getting more possession themselves. Because with that front line that they have with Lyon, they have the ability to break down, especially in terms of the speed. Once they do win it, can they go quickly?
Back it goes to Sandra Paños, goalkeeper for Barcelona. Also starter for the Spanish national team. Marta. Now Graham Hanton was ready to spring. The timing not quite right. Basha plays it back to Endler. Kaima on that far side defensively for Lyon. A veteran, 32 years old, one of the best to ever come out of Belgium. Their most capped players, made the most international appearances. Once again, Van de Donk. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a card soon. That's a second tough tackle from Van de Donk.
And it's the pressing, though, every line going together for Barcelona that allows them to win this free kick. Graham Hansen, the one that's taken down from Van de Donk. A little frustration setting in from the midfielder. But every line for Barcelona, tight as a unit, reading the play really well. Not a ton of space for Lyon to be able to operate.
Graham Hansen back to her feet.
And it's not even that tough of a challenge, it's just the hit that Graham Hansen takes as she's falling to the ground. Good to see her back up.
Well, and this is interesting, Lori. It is the 19-year-old Bruna who's going to take this free kick for Barcelona. Sorna Gorcevic does manage to keep possession for the Spanish side. Sorry. Pace slowing a little bit, and we knew to expect some pressure from Lyon, but as you've talked about, it's going to be interesting to see where these teams are from a fitness standpoint as well. And it is warm here in Portland for this first match in particular, where there's still some sun on the field. Got up to 80 today in Portland.
And what makes this tournament so intriguing is just the different styles and philosophies. Sonia Bonpastor, the Lyon coach, talking to us. Very similar styles between these two teams. They know what to expect when they match up, but it'll be against the NWSL teams, a little bit more physical, a little bit more vertical play that will really test them.
Is the combination right? Not quite. Sorna Gorcevic got that whole attack started for Barcelona.
But this slower of pace, not to be totally unexpected in the fact that Barcelona will be fine to swing the ball around, see if they can pull out Lyon defensively and then find those gaps. We talked about the midfield three and how important they are to Barcelona's success, pulling the strings. Those three, long time history together with up the ranks of the Barcelona Academy. Very familiar with one another's tendencies and so much fluidity in the middle of the field.
This is Millar, had it for a moment. Number 28, it's back at the feet of Barcelona. Graham Hansen on the run. Endler beats her to the ball. Christiane Endler played at the University of South Florida collegiately. And boy, what a performance she had at that 2019 World Cup for Chile. I mean, it was just in the Olympics as well. But I mean, I think the term that often gets used for Endler and her performance against the USA in 2019 in France was that she stood on her head. I mean, it was a loss for Chile, but she was incredible. Millar in the box will pass back out for Basha. Ball in the box, headed and in! Lyon, through some patience, finds the equalizer.
And it's that space in behind the fullbacks of Barcelona that we talked about, where they are susceptible. It's one direct ball over the top. And then, as you mentioned, it's the patience to be able to pick out the striker. It's Millar, just waits, and then a good ball in, floated in, just over the back line of Barcelona. All she has to do is redirect it from Madri as she's coming in. Good low header to that far post.
Bonpastor loves it, and that is, look, that's a combination of two of your younger, more inexperienced players in Millar and Basha to one of your veterans in Madri, who knew what to do with it when she got a good ball in the box.
And it's so important because they do have the ability to break down Barcelona, suck them in, and then it's that one ball over that started this entire play. And then just the awareness to have the patience to be able to get more players into the attack. Not a lot on that ball from the wide area, but just enough to be able to redirect it past Paños.
I mean, with the caliber of players that are out on this field, the margin of error is so small if you make a mistake. Srna Gorcevic in behind for Barcelona in the box, taps it across, nearly an own goal. Lyon with a chance to counter if they play it right. Majri streaking through midfield, wanted to leave it outside for Signé Brun.
And now the pace is starting to pick up in the end. Srna Gorcevic, a good idea on that far side to look to see if she can pick out her teammate, but then a quick transition. And now Lyon just starting to slow things down themselves, get on the ball more often.
Majri has been so active. What a ball into the box, wide open in front of the goal. It is kept out by Panos the first time, but the second time Brun finishes it off. Oh, but the offside flag says, Well, that for the new signing for Lyon, nearly had a huge moment.
And if there is one area where Barcelona is susceptible, it is in that back line, and it is when teams start to push the pace, look to see if they can go more direct. Last two opportunities for Lyon have been on the break quickly, and it's left Barcelona's back line exposed.
Free kick coming for Lyon. And you always have to be wary when Wendy Renard is on the field of the threat she poses on set pieces. Is 6'2", captain for Lyon, number 3. Keep an eye on her right there in the thick of it.
And I'll be curious to see how Barcelona deals with her ability in the air. Are they going to tug and push just to keep her off balance and away from momentum?
It goes right to Renard, and she had a pretty good look at it.
Well, it has to be better than that because Renard is wide open on that. Not one player for Barcelona on her. And it's just too easy. Nothing on target.
At the goal from Majri back in the 20th minute that leveled us at 1 apiece. Renard, you know it's coming. You still can't stop it, but you're right, the marking, that was an early warning sign right there for Barcelona. Needs to be better.
Well, you're exactly right. They're not going to be able to stop her. She's going to win every air ball that there is with her height, but you have to be able to push her off her balance, stop the momentum, do whatever you can to not let her to get a good look and to not have one player on her. You definitely have to think, okay, are we going to go for Lyon to try to get set pieces?
Centering ball. Aitana Bonmati just unable to direct it back toward goal. And you can just see both of these teams just love to play. They don't want to give it away. They don't want a 50-50 ball. Always want to build. Or at least, I shouldn't say always, but for the most part, they want to pick you apart. They both do. That was Alexia challenging the back line. A little miscommunication maybe, but Endler does get there. Aitana out to Graham Hansen. Graham Hansen, just wonderful ability with the ball at her feet. Tripped herself up just a little bit. Dangerous looking ball in the box by Marta. Endler got there just in time. Majri leading the way for Lyon, has some help on the outside. She goes there in the box. The shot is taken and it is patted away. Van de Donk with the effort for Lyon. Panos with the save for Barcelona.
And again, it's them on, Lyon on the break just so quickly. It's Majri and Van de Donk, the two players that we talked about need to have a big game against Barcelona. Majri slows it up, finds Van de Donk, and then another huge save from Panos.
This is incredibly fun. I mean, I just have to say, it is beautiful soccer to watch. And now we'll get a chance to see what Lyon does. This is the first corner for either team. And once again, Renard in there as a target. And Selma Basha has been the one to take the set pieces. Drives to the left foot, a little over Renard. It doesn't matter. It finds Henri, who knows how to score here at Providence Park. She used to play for Portland, and now she gives Lyon the advantage.
And that is a good ball in from Basha, just driven. Better defensive posture from Barcelona to get on Renard. But then it's Henri that rises above, and that's a great header into the far post. Just picks it out, just redirects it into that corner pocket. And after a couple of really good saves from Panos, nothing that she can do as that tucks in.
Everybody so concerned, as they should be, with Renard, and then Henri just sneaking in behind her, so beautifully set up. Henri, an NWSL champion with the Portland Thorns in 2017. I think the crowd giving her a little extra applause.
And it's been a good response from Lyon just to start to understand where they can find space against Barcelona. Doing a better job of almost allowing Barcelona to switch the point of attack, absorb the pressure, because they know the space is in behind, especially when they leave only two backs on that back line for Barcelona. Spaces out wide and in behind.
Goals 7 minutes apart in the 20th and the 27th minute. Give Lyon the lead. Majri's been such a handful. She sets another beautiful ball in, and the whistle comes immediately for offside. Panos didn't know had to come out. And that is Stina Brun on the ground for Lyon.
And this is why it's been so important for Majri to find herself in the attacking midfield role. Has played left back quite often for this Lyon side. But now with Moroni, who's on the substitute list, but also Basha getting the start here, occupying that left-hand side, you get to see Majri higher up the field, and it's that final pass, one of the best in the world, just a tad offside on that last attempt.
Barcelona looking for a quick counter, a little stumble there in the back, but no harm done. That was Ali Somba. Millar. The touch just enough from Marta. Into the 30th minute of this first half, first match of our International Champions Cup. Third edition of this tournament. Lyon has been in every one, and they've split with the North Carolina Courage in the first two editions. North Carolina winning the first title 1-0 in 2018. Lyon winning the second in 2019, and there was no tournament due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020.
You know, this will be interesting, Jen. 30 minutes into this game, Lyon giving Barcelona a little bit of taste of their own medicine, happy just to switch the point of attack. And it's just going to bode well for Lyon if they can pull Barcelona out and open up even more space in behind. See how Barcelona deals with that defensively, and if they can get back onto the ball and keep possession more, start to pull Lyon out like we saw in the first 15 minutes.
There is a foul whistled against Barcelona as Majri hits the ground. And this, the goal. Sneaky, sneaky. It's not Renard who's going to put it away. It's Henri.
Using Renard as the decoy now.
Amandine Henri has really talked about how much she enjoyed her time here in Portland and in the NWSL, and I think was certainly a fan favorite as well. 2 World Cups that she's been a part of for France, inching closer to that 100 cap mark. Barcelona looking a little out of sorts. Millar, good patience. Touch back to Millar. An opportunity for Mariona, had the first goal of this match for Barcelona. Bernard shuts it down. Kaima on the far side. Henry down to the ground. Barcelona attacking with numbers. Aitana out to Graham Hansen. One touch to get around the defender. Graham Hansen right at the penalty spot. Nobody there for Barca. Patry keeps it. Paredes. Alexia under a lot of defensive pressure from Lyon. Millar. Tightrope on the sideline. Waits for help. Fancy bit of whoop, but offside for Cascarino.
Millar doing a good job, though, of getting herself involved in the game, helping out defensively. But then just the patience, understanding how to get players involved. But if she has the ability to go 1v1, she'll take it. Started that attack in the first goal that they had in this game.
Van de Donk. She has been a pest in the best of ways in this match for Lyon.
Paredes getting tight, as we talked about, some of the frustration setting in. Lyon starting to get the better of Barcelona. Keeping possession, but also have the ability to go direct.
Kaima. She'll continue her run forward. No room to move for Majri. Barcelona had the early advantage, a goal from Mariona in the 9th minute, but since then you can feel the momentum has shifted along with the scoreline in favor of Lyon.
And there's a confidence in Lyon outside of those first 15 minutes. Now absorbing the pressure, we're seeing how good Barcelona is to smother, try to keep it on one side, but Lyon is happy to continue to keep possession, find that open player.
Graham Hansen. Little help defensively. They're going to need more Lyon to get Graham Hansen stopped. They get it from their goalkeeper, Endler. Barcelona back on it, though. That was Bruna. No whistle. Alexia retakes it for Barca.
And it's Graham Hansen that Barcelona continues to have to find. She's been so good just pulling out wide, forcing Basha to come out, and then taking on 1v1. It's either forcing Endler to come up with a big save or she's able to send a dangerous ball in. Some of the best production in this first half has come from the right-hand side.
Sorna Gorcevic has had a couple of moments as well on that far side, but they've been handled. And I have to remind you, I mean, both teams obviously have looked dangerous. And this is the last chance for Barcelona and Graham Hansen.
And Graham Hansen just taking on, showing some of the fancy footwork that she's able to. Forcing the Inler with that big save. No one there for Barca just to follow up that rebound.
87 appearances for Norway for Graham Hansen. And was just going to say, there is plenty of firepower still to be had on the benches of both teams. What a ball up front for Van de Donk. Whoa, that's a lot of contact, but Katja Koroleva saying it's okay by her book. Van de Donk might not agree. Back and forth we go. What do you think? This Barcelona side trailing at the moment. Such great players on the bench like Alika Martens. Go against her Dutch countrywoman Van de Donk, playing for the Netherlands. Tremendous player, former World Player of the Year, Alika Martens. You've got Asisato Shuala, the Nigerian international. No Jenny Hermoso. That is a big change for Barcelona. She was injured, unable to make the trip. Majri. Her runners wait. Brun covered in the middle. Graham Hansen. What chaos can she cause this time? Outside of her foot. Beautiful ball inside. Mariana's shot was saved. But those are the connections that are that Barca DNA that you love to see.
And it's Graham Hansen again, just pulling out wide, taking on just off-footing Basha again, and then that little slip pass. And this is Mariona, who we've seen make those little runs in behind. She's got the opening goal for Barcelona. Another inside-out run, and you can see the problems that run causes for Lyon, forcing Inler to come off her line again. Good defending, though. Make sure that they have it covered and away from any sort of danger. But this is what Barcelona needs to do now. Get back to their ways of looking to see if they can switch the point of attack, pull out Lyon, because the last thing Lyon's going to want to do now is have to chase the ball, switch the point side to side, have to run around. But that's what Barcelona is going to need to do to find those gaps to open up.
You think about these two teams, so incredibly dominant, typically in their domestic leagues. And now really, what a test, what a challenge, and what a joy to watch, really, these two teams go to battle.
And we really appreciate the patience, the awareness, the understanding, really great tactical and technical awareness on both sides. I think defensively is one area that we'll see both of these teams start to shore up, especially as they go through preseason and get ready for the respective leagues.
And Leo, not as many big names on the bench, at least not tonight, but stick around. One of the up-and-coming U.S. players that plays for Olympique Lyonnais, Caterina Macario. We saw her arrive today. We saw her on the field earlier. Expect a chance we might see her in Lyon's second match on Saturday. No Ellie Carpenter. She picked up an injury, the Australian defender, former Portland Thorn. Couldn't make the trip here to Portland.
And I've just been watching Aitana, number 14 for Barcelona. And Alexia, the captain for Barcelona, gets a lot of praise just with her ability to play the final pass, get into the attack and score goals. But it's Aitana, her ability, her movement off the ball that keeps this team ticking. And just their spatial awareness that allows other opportunities to open up for her teammates. So good off the ball that goes unrecognized.
Maria, better known as Mapi Leon, gets it forward to Aitana. Mapi Leon has aspirations to be a tattoo artist one day, has plenty herself, one in her throat that says looks can be deceiving. Alexia in the box has options. That wasn't one of them.
And I'm not sure why Bruna held up her run. I thought she was wide open right on top of the 6-yard box to finish it off, and I think she thought her teammate was coming in. I think that would be the talk, though, for both of these sides defensively, just tightening things up. Opening minutes. Barcelona obviously getting that goal early on from Mariona, but just not taking advantage of some of these opportunities that Lyon defensively is giving them.
Yeah, here's one right on cue, Lori, as the foul will set up right about 20 yards out, 25 yards out, a free kick for Barcelona. Can be a little tricky here, though, when you're facing direct on at the goal. Missed the foul.
It is a good distance, though, not too close to that 18-yard box where you have to get it up and over with the pace and the bend on the ball. A little bit further out allows them to be able to go direct on Inler if they choose so, or also play a little ball in behind.
Alexia, number 11. Graham Hansen, the save by Endler. Had it covered.
And well read from Inler, does well just to push it out of danger. Not enough power on it. You see the bend, but Inler has it covered the entire way.
First corner kick coming of the match now for Barcelona. Graham Hansen keeps it on the ground for Mariona. Back to Graham Hansen. She'll try from a different angle. Now allows Barca to reset. In we go again, and Loretti in waiting has it in her gloves. Alexia Putellas, number 11. Just biding her time, waiting for the space to open. Cascarino, 24-year-old French international. Paredes has a runner in the middle, won't get there.
I'm curious to see what kind of changes each of these teams will make. We talked about the rotation of players, given that they are in the middle of this preseason. But one player in particular, Ochoala for Barcelona, does give Barcelona a different look when she's in the game. An out-and-out number 9 striker, really good on the ball, timing of her runs, but also has the speed to be able to beat the back line of Lyon. And we'll see if they insert her in just to be able to stretch this game a bit more. So good with this possession and keeping it, forcing Lyon to have to chase. But outside of that initial goal and some of the mistakes that Lyon has made defensively, not a lot in terms of vertical play to be able to pull Lyon defensively out.
Barcelona trying to find that space, and behind the ball bounces nicely for Alexia. Should be an easy finish, but it was a kick save from Endler.
I'm not sure if they heard me because it's one ball over the top. This time it's Alexia making the run in behind. Just a few little touches to off-foot the defender, but Endler coming off her line really well to close down the space.
1 minute of stoppage time added on to our first half. Millard doesn't even go after it. Felt she was offside. Well, Barcelona scores first, Lori, but it is Lyon with the advantage after the first 45.
And we said it at the beginning that we were in for a treat, and that has been the
fans getting treated to some tremendous soccer here at Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. The Women's International Champions Cup, our first semifinal of two that will be taking place this evening. Olympique Lyonnais leading Barcelona 2-1 after the first half. Now, each team is allowed, be ready for it, 11 substitutions should they choose to use them. I don't anticipate we'll see that many, but you never know. So we could potentially see some changes coming now for both sides. Getting word of just one so far, though. That would be for Olympique Lyonnais. Selma Basha, the 20-year-old left back who was born in Lyon, had 2 assists. Assisted both of the goals in the first half. And you see there Per Moroni, 23-year-old who was just brought over from PSG, taking her place.
So bringing a little bit more experience into that back line. One of those players that Sonia Bonpastor, as you mentioned, bringing over from PSG to be able to play that left back position. She can also play in that left winger position as well, but it does allow for Marjorie, number 7, that attacking midfielder, to be higher up the field, and we saw how instrumental she has been making runs in behind the back line in that first half against Barcelona, but also playing some of those through balls as well.
These two teams met up in the 2019 My apologies. So that was the International Champions Cup last year, 2 years ago, I should say, 2019. North Carolina Courage, the opponent. No game, no tournament last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So Lyon's been here. They've won and they've lost before at the hands of the Courage in the final of the Champions Cup. Basha, quite good in the first half for Lyon, especially when she got up into the attack, sent some nice balls in, setting up both Marjorie and Henri off the corner kick.
And just both of these teams, Jen, having young players getting such valuable experience. We talked about the importance of homegrown talent to both of these clubs, to be able to bring them up seamlessly through the academy on both sides and to be able to step in and play important moments.
Two new managers for each of these teams. Sonia Bonpastor for Lyon, Jonathan Giraldez for Barcelona. Both have been with the clubs in some capacity, but now taking over the top job. And Lyon starts things off in the second half, all in white. Barcelona blue and red. Jen Hildreth, former U.S. midfielder Lori Lindsay. Happy to have you along with us. And really in the first half, there were some shaky moments early on from the Lyon defense. Eventually, Barcelona was able to capitalize, getting a goal in the 9th minute.
Moroni now filling into that left back position, a bit more experience, the French international coming over from PSG, shoring things up defensively. Outside of those first 15 minutes, Jen, for Barcelona, didn't have a ton of opportunities that they created except for the mistakes that Lyon gave them. Just gaps in the back line. As you mentioned early on, Kadisha Buchanan, typically that center back partner with Wendy Reynard. So some pieces missing as well, but again, it gets back to the fact that you're able to get some of these players some valuable minutes against competition that they're accustomed to, but then also on Saturday's games against one of the NWSL teams, depending on who they match up with.
Portland, Houston, the NWSL matchup coming up in our second semifinal later tonight. And then Saturday is when we'll see the championship match and the 3rd place match. And we know it'll be Europe versus USA in some capacity, just not sure who will fill in each of those blanks. Cascarino, Serena Gorcevic, some contact. Alexia. to Aitana. Wants a pass back for Marta Torrejon. Slow it down, look around.
And I will be curious about this approach from Barcelona. Good ball in from Mapi Lyon. And so the last 10 minutes or so of that first half for Barcelona started to go more direct. Was it because of fatigue? Was it because they were trying to look in behind, knowing that there were some mistakes from the Lyon defense? But it was those first 15 minutes of that half, they're so dominant by keeping possession. Marjorie just showing some of her skill. So good. Offside in the end. But Barcelona, if they start to switch the point, if they start to force Lyon to chase, that's when they're at their best. And they started playing a little bit of Lyon's game in the end.
We had to look back at that.
So
I mean,
good.
that's
so
just
good.
pretty. Yeah,
Really, the difference, Jen, though, was Marjorie and Van de Donk getting involved in the game. Two players that we highlighted in the lineups that have to be on the ball, going forward, whether it's getting in behind or playing the final pass. And once they did that, it was tough for Barcelona to switch gears.
Paredes. It is going to be interesting to see how Barcelona handles things, because as you said, it is not how they want to play, that more direct ball in behind style. However, at some point you need to be able to take advantage of whatever your opponent's giving you, right? And that is what they were being given as that half wore on.
And it is a balance. You're exactly right. It's a balance of, can you go quickly, but if it's not on, then don't just force the ball when you know you have a better option, because they're so good at getting numbers in and around the ball.
Millar over to Cascarino. Wanted Millar to continue forward with her. This is the substitution at halftime for Lyon, Moroni. Caroline Graham-Hansen, quite good in the attack in that first half for Barcelona. Norwegian international. Van de Donk. It's got under the foot of the Dutch national team midfielder. Brun had some contact in the back from Paredes.
And those are the forced balls there from Barcelona that we didn't see in those opening 20 minutes. And it's just allowing Lyon to regain possession and then finding these gaps to be able to get players through.
There's Van de Donk and Marjorie not quite together on that attack for Lyon. It's a high line that the French side is playing with their back four. Bruna, 19-year-old that made her debut with the first team for Barcelona last year. Paredes for Alexia. Ball drops fortuitously. Across it goes. Renard off the post. Saves the French captain from an own goal.
And Renard is definitely kissing the post as Inler was wrong-footed, going one way, looking to see if she could keep it out of the back of the net. And then Renard getting in the front of it just comes off of her. But that's better from Barcelona, looking for that ball, but then waiting in the patience to allow for other players to join in. Alexia looking to see if she can feather that ball to the far post. That forces Renard to have to come up with the post save, I should say.
You're right. She needs to give some love to that post for sure. Such tremendous experience. What What a weapon for Lyon to have Renard, 31 years old, back there on the back line, has been a part of all 14 of those 14 consecutive French League titles. And a part of every single one of their Champions League titles as well, 7 of them, which is by far the most of any club.
And one of the reasons why they've been able to, Sonia Bonpastor's team, implement some of those younger players on the back line, because she has so much experience, along with number 23, Kaimon, the Belgium international, able to offset some of that youth, knowing that they have that experience to be able to lead the back line.
Millar has been very composed on the ball, and she has received it. Sorna Gorcevic able to turn out of trouble, but nobody in a Barca uniform near the ball in the end. Stay with it.
And that step from Wendy Renard is the reason why they're able to play that higher line for Lyon, squeezing the game, making it difficult for Barcelona.
Alexia will want better. But there was a touch. She will get a corner kick for her team, just the second of this match for Barcelona. 1 apiece for each of the teams in the first half. Lyon scoring off of theirs as Amandine Henry had her Providence Park moment, coming back to the stadium where she used to play. Graham Hansen bending it in, a big collision. 2 players go down, both from Lyon. The bend on that ball, just wicked.
And Henry does so well to attack this ball and just gets caught up in the air against Alexia. And it's a hard foul as she's coming down.
Yeah, both Henry and I believe that was number 18, Somba, that went for the ball as well, as Somba just got caught underneath her own teammate, and Henry took the worst of it.
It's a good driven ball, and you see Henry reading it well and just does get caught up underneath her own teammate and Alexia. And the momentum of her coming off that near post as she attacks it, just the feet taken out from underneath her. And you hope it's more, not a serious injury, but more of the wind just taken out of her from that fall.
Good to see Henry back to her feet. She is coming off, might need a little more attention, but no substitution made yet. So we'll see if she's able to continue.
And Henry, one of those players, Jen, that doesn't always get all the praise. Simple player, dominant in the air, scoring that first goal, or the second goal, excuse me, for Lyon in the first half. And then a defensive header to keep that out of the back of net on this last corner kick, but also just the one that sits in front of that back line and allows Imagerie and Van de Donk to be able to work their magic in front of her.
Henry is back on the field now for Lyon. Player who's competed in 2 World Cups for France, as well as the 2016 Olympics. She was actually the silver ball winner and a FIFA All-Star back in 2015. And as many of the fans here, of course, know, the former NWSL champion and Portland Thorn.
She wins wherever she goes.
Yeah, it's a good title to have, isn't it? Napi Leon stepping in to win. little unlucky maybe there for Lyon. It looked like she almost just waited for the contact to happen. Nothing comes of it anyway, so goal kick coming for Barcelona. Do you think your former teammates liking this new job, Lori, Sonia Beaupastor?
Oh goodness, I think she's loving it. And as she mentioned, suited for this role, understands at the youth level, the academy, understands the club and the culture, having played, and then being the director of the youth, and now being able to lead this team. And what a wonderful player she was in her day as well with the French national team. And as you mentioned, I was able to play with her with the Washington Spirit. Just such a gifted player, and to be able to bring that and be the first female coach for this club continues to make a statement.
Malar. Crnogorcevic does well initially to take it away, but then Malar just continues on. Trying to press to win it back.
So good out of pressure, not afraid to continue to work, even if the pressure comes. But this is the difference right now. Lyon doing such a good job of getting numbers back behind the ball, thwarting any sort of attack from Barcelona. And without a true number 9 that we've talked about throughout, somebody that can really stretch the back line for Barcelona, it has allowed Lyon in that latter part of the first half, and certainly in the second half, to squeeze the game even more without having that threat in behind.
See some players warming up, amongst them Asisat Oshuala, the Nigerian number 9 to which you refer, who could certainly force that Lyon defense to rethink how they play things.
And you don't always need to have an out-and-out number 9 that's going to play vertical, but then you have to be able to keep possession higher up the field. And a lot of the possession as of late for Barca has come more in their defensive half. They can't get enough numbers around the ball.
Good connections. It's Bruna going forward. The foul against Barcelona.
An interesting call, because Bruna looked like her jersey was being pulled, and then both of them getting in. Initially, it looked like Bruna did commit the first foul.
Little linking of arms going on. Alexia quick on the turn. Has to play back. Van de Donk got into her way a little bit. Paredes, the line ready to run. Alexia, tip of the spear for Barcelona. Crnogorcevic at the edge of the box, takes her shot. Had a lot of pace, but it was right at Endler.
And it's Alexia who continues to make those runs in behind, just on the outside of the center backs of Lyon, finding a bit of space, and is allowing the players like Crnogorcevic to be able to get higher up the field. Not enough on that to be able to beat Endler, and good cover initially from Lyon. But that is better from Barcelona. Now can they continue to find another pass, look to see if they can pull out Lyon even more defensively.
Henry guiding the way forward for Lyon. Van de Donk for Malar. Leon needs to play it right, has some help.
Maybe a bit of fatigue setting in for both these sides. What we expect, though, given that they are in the middle of their preseason.
Maybe a little surprised, only one change made though so far.
And that's what we were talking about the approach coming into this game. Are they going to look to see if they can really fine-tune things physically? Sonia Bonpastor, the Lyon coach, telling us they've played 4 preseason games already. This is their 5th. They're not quite at full capacity in terms of their physicality and fitness-wise.
Turnover. Barcelona trying to take advantage. Alexia off the glove, but now put back in. Mariona does it again for Barca.
And it's a poor giveaway in the back for Lyon. We talked about the mistakes and then giving Barcelona the opportunity. Right there is the poor touch. It gives Barcelona players in advantageous positions. And then it's the patience that we've talked about, but it is that ability and that final ball in from Alexia. She doesn't try to go with pace. She looks to slot it to that far post that forces Inler to give up the rebound. And then it's Mariona with her 2nd of the night for the equalizer.
Mariona making Lyon pay for their mistakes, just following up that initial shot. Endler got a glove to it, did well to do so. But then Barcelona evening things up. 2 goals apiece now. Mariona with both of them for the Spanish side.
And it's such a little thing, but that attempt on goal from Alexia, just to use the inside of her foot to pass it into the far post, forcing Inler to push it away from goal. But then it would be Aitana there to be able to follow up as well and then find Mariona.
Since we are back even now in the 64th minute, should tell you the format of this tournament, by the way, that if we remain level after 90 minutes, we go to penalty kicks. Everybody's favorite way to decide a game, but there is no extra time before those. So we get right to it if indeed we are tied at the end of regulation.
I'm feeling more goals though, Jen. So.
I like it. Lyon picking her spot at the far side. Henry got a foot to it for a moment, but Barcelona back on it.
An important touch from Moroni. Otherwise, Aitana found that little hole.
Eventually a whistle does come. And Graham Hansen clearly in some distress. Substitution about to be made for Barcelona. We will indeed get to see the Nigerian international, Nafisat Oshoala. And she will come on for the youngster Bruna up top.
And Oshoala, the player that we were talking about, out and out number 9. Imagine that will shift Mariona out wide left in replace of Bruna, the 19-year-old that's just coming off. A good showing from her, especially in the first half. A lot more to ability on the ball and in the mix. Another good look at the goal. Mariona just finding herself in another good position, but it is that attempt from Alexia forces Inler to come up with that save and keep the ball alive right into the path of the number 9.
Mariona with goals in the 9th minute and the 63rd minute to level this match.
And will be interesting to see Lyon in their adjustments, knowing that Oshoala is coming on, because they won't be able to play as high of a line if they can't get pressure on the ball early on. because with the timing of Oshuala's runs and her ability to break down defenses, could cause some major issues for Lyon defensively.
We'll have to see if Jonathan Giraldes has a decision to make there on Graham Hansen, who now is onto her feet, but we'll see if she's able to continue. It will be a free kick here for Barcelona. Lyon waiting for her runners to get back in position. Now sends it toward the goal. Renard wins the first ball. Oshuala, her first touch. Mariona. Oshuala, four-time African Player of the Year with Nigeria. Patry will go back to Paredes.
And the discipline from Lyon defensively has been good because it's so difficult to defend. We talk about those middle three for Barcelona, but in actuality, it is Graham Hansen and in particular Mariona who come and drop down into the midfield as well. And that fluidity forces Lyon have to stay disciplined defensively.
That is Marta. Got onto the ball. Graham Hansen is back on the field, by the way. Oshuala, the edge of the area. You see the goal scoring rundown. What has us level at 2 goals apiece. Barcelona with the first goal of the match and the most recent goal, both of those from Mariona. Lyon with goals 7 minutes apart in between. Oshuala. Oshuala, both hands in the air calling for it right here at the top of your screen. Barca not quite ready to go there yet.
And everything's so good until right now, that final pass. And we are seeing Mariona still in that number 9 central role.
Not quite enough on the ball, but it's kept alive anyway. It was Cascarino who had the first ball across. Henry steps on it, sends it forward for Millar, does manage to, even accidentally, maybe get her head on it.
Trying to move her feet to be able to redirect it. She has been good, though. So instrumental, whether it's on the left side or the right side in the attack, just continuously being an outlet for Lyon.
Lyon really being forced to do quite a lot of defending these last few minutes. too much jersey tugging, I think, happening there. And you see the Barcelona player is asking for a card as a result of it.
Well, that is the third Van de Donk noticeable foul in this game. And at some point in time, they're exactly right. There has to be a yellow card given. Van de Donk on that last one, knowing that Patrick would be able to step in and start some sort of attack with numbers up situation. Smart foul from her. Not going to get punished, though, from Corleva.
Lyon keeps it on the ground. Touched out wide. Marta. And out it goes. Barcelona coming off the best season in club history, winning the treble, the Spanish League title, the Champions League title, their first, and the Copa de la Reina. Just one loss in league play to 33 wins. Their goal differential, well, I'm not going to do the math, you can. They scored 167, they conceded 15. So pretty sizable. I think what we've seen from both of these teams, no reason to doubt that once again they're both going to be forces to be reckoned with. Alexia in the box, two defenders around her, passes it back out for Mariana. Graham Hansen did manage to stay onside. Well done. Aitana, Marta out for a corner.
It's such good sophistication and patience from Barcelona, not forcing anything. We've seen them have some unforced errors throughout the last part of that first half and the beginning of the second half, but now starting to get the possession higher up the field, being patient, looking for the runners. Much better. Still a bit surprised that Oshiwala is on that left-hand side. Has been so good when she plays centrally for this team, and especially Mariana playing on that left-hand side, making those runs in centrally.
Lyon, bending ball. Endler just got a glove to it. It may have caught her out of position a little bit. The trajectory it had coming in from the corner. Alexia wanting to turn. Had Somba right in her back. It's like Sonia Bonpastor ready to make another change. Have to wait a moment to do so. Barcelona still attacking. There's Vicky Becco, a 17-year-old that we just saw, getting ready to come on for Lyon. But first, they'll have to contend with another corner from Barcelona. It's their third of this half, fourth of the match. Not be Lyon. Another good-looking ball, but a little too close to Endler. And now we will see the change coming for Olympique Lyonnais. The 17-year-old Vicky Becco, in just her second season with Lyon, turns 18 in October. She'll replace Senior Brun in the attack.
And you typically wouldn't say, Jen, with players missing because of international duty, that's a great thing. But with players still not coming back yet from their Olympic duty, it is allowing for some of these players to get minutes, valuable minutes, way in.
And so we'll see what the teenager has to offer for Olympique Lyonnais. Millard gets it back. Nice interchange with Majri. Millard, centering ball, initially cleared. And that ball high, up and out by Kaima. Kaima, by the way, former Florida State Seminole, played there from 2010 to 11. Also had a brief stint in the NWSL in 2016, but she picked a good team to be on. It was the Western New York Flash. They won the NWSL championship that year. She had just a couple of appearances, though, for that winning side. Graham Hansen. Cascarino. And you wonder, Lori, if we're going to see a different tact, a different tempo from either of these teams as we creep ever closer. About 11, 12 minutes remaining.
Yeah, not surprising that the pace has slowed a bit. Something we've talked about, both of these teams being in preseason. What is the tactical approach that they are going to take in terms of managing players or push the limits physically to continue to get to the upper echelon of their fitness going in to both of these teams' seasons, but also knowing that PKs are lingering right outside of these 90 minutes. So can they continue to find ways to break each other down? And for Barcelona, it's going to be continuing to find that possession higher up the field. And when they have those moments to get on the break, can they have the awareness from Oshiwala? Because she will be the one to be able to find that direct ball over the top that can exploit Lyon.
This time it's Van de Donk. Too close to Panos.
And right on cue, what I was going to say. And for Lyon, it's about Van de Donk and Majri making those runs. It's so difficult for Barcelona's midfielders to track them. It's overloading that back line. We've already talked about Barcelona being susceptible defensively.
There is a ball behind. Not the right weight. Lyon looking up the middle, but that's right where Renard was waiting for it. Oshiwala followed it up, though. Beko. Majri. Lovely bit of skill. Then the setup. Cascarino at the near post. Panos has it.
And it's those quick little transitional moments that Lyon can catch Barcelona. Majri on the ball, good weighted ball that allows Cascarino to open up her hips. Just doesn't do it enough to be able to get around it, looking for that far post. Easy for Panos to be able to smother it.
Barcelona out shooting OL in this match. Heavy favorite in the statistic of possession as well, as you might have seen earlier. Over 60% for Barcelona.
And Moppy Lyon just getting her shoe stepped on and taken off from Van de Donk. That's one way to slow down the play.
That is. Flat tire. Need a moment. A couple of changes are getting ready to be made for Barcelona. Teams are allowed 11 substitutions, we were told. We only have 3 windows in which to make those substitutions, but you can see Claudia Pina, number 6, and Jana Fernandez, number 3. Younger players, 20 and 19 years old respectively, still waiting their turn. Oshiwala now more central for Barcelona. Now the change is happening. So Pina will replace Aitana in the midfield. Aitana's been good. I know you like to watch her play, Lori.
So good in that midfield. But as the game wore on, not able collectively as a three to be as dominant with her possession, giving her a little bit of a rest. And I'll be curious to see where Pina goes, because she's typically a striker. Intuitive, technical, might find herself higher up the field.
And then Jana, number 3, came on to replace Marta Torrejon, number 8, who was on that far side defensively for Barcelona. Flick of the ponytail, not enough to keep it away from Marjorie, who's had a highlight reel of tricks of her own in this match. Escapes somehow, 3 defenders, left-footed ball, deflects in, and Paños finally ends the threat.
Oh, it was a little bit of magic from Marjorie, just plays the ball through the legs of Barcelona, almost gets a deflection. And he's double teamed, almost triple teamed, and then there's that little flick through Patri's legs. Almost gets a deflection off of Lyon. Paños reads it well all the way.
Just give me more Marjorie magic.
Oh,
that is, you should coin that. I like it, Lori. And it has been. I mean, she has been fabulous on the ball this evening. It's a tough spot for Renard. Barcelona now applying a little bit of pressure, trying to win it back. And they do, at least for a moment. '85th minute. Penalty kick shootout looming if we stay tied. Portland Thorns and the Houston Dash, our second semifinal. Hope you can stay up late on the East Coast. Don't want to miss that one. Cascarino. Marjorie, one touch and the save, but it's coughed up and put in! Millard puts Lyon back out in front. Yes, take a bow.
And what a goal this is from Millar. Initially, it starts from that big ball over the top. Barcelona gets caught, no pressure on the ball. They're able to find space in behind, and then Marjorie with a good first attempt, and Paños with another big save. But Barcelona and Crnogorcevic get caught ball watching, and it's Millar that just sneaks in that back post, and all she has to do is side-foot it in to the near post with the tap in. Important late goal for Lyon, and Sonia Pastor happy with her team in this performance, coming back from being one down early in this game.
And Millar, who had 11 appearances for OL last season, her most, a couple of goals. That'll be one to remember, especially if it stands here and puts the French side into the championship match of this ICC. Where they expect to be, though, right? Olympique Lyonnais has been in the last 2 championship matches of this tournament, and that is a yellow card late coming out. It was against Paredes. And you feel for Paños on that last goal, too. I mean, she did make a tremendous save on the first effort from Marjorie.
And really credit to both goalkeepers. Offside call. But credit to both goalkeepers coming up with some big saves throughout this entire game. Paños, a number of them herself.
Mariona, 2 goals, sitting on a hat trick. Has Graham Hansen out wide. It falls back. This is one of the substitutions. Pina in the corner. What does Barcelona have left? The current queens of European soccer. At the moment, Lyon sitting in the spot for that championship match on Saturday. Barcelona would play in the third place match. Millard had the golden moment for her team in the 85th minute to put them ahead. We will have a decent amount of stoppage time, a couple of injuries that were dealt with in this second half. 4 minutes, we're being told, will be added on. Time on the side of OL.
And the response that Lyon has had since after going down early on in this game, just understand where they were being punished. Possession throughout the midfield for Barcelona. They got tighter defensively, stepped up their game, knowing that they weren't going to be exposed in behind. And it's really forced Barcelona to have some fun, unforced errors. And then both teams, some lapses in the back. And the last one, if it stays the same, be that lapse in the back from Barcelona, just the ball watching, and then Millard being able to put it away.
Ashwala couldn't keep it, and that is Moroni down for Lyon. There are your 4 minutes of stoppage time, but we'll pause for a moment to check on Moroni. She went down right after she and Oshwala both going for this ball. That would be why. Moroni, new signing for this OL club this season. Had been with PSG, over 100 appearances there. Was actually on loan to Barcelona in 2018, so very familiar with the Spanish club. Nice quick turn by Pina. Srnogorcevic gets there.
And despite what happens in this game, it's so good. Such sophistication from both sides. Pina on that last attempt, not looking for the first ball played in that you typically see.
Alexia still has it. Pina flying in. The follow-up shot, not on target by Patry.
Another great run in behind from Alexia, getting on the end of this ball, just looking to see if she can pick out. And then this is the defensive presence from Renard, understand to close down the space. Don't give Barcelona a clear look on frame. But it's the deception in the passes that I was talking about, Jen. Not looking for the initial pass, the most direct. It's a second runner through.
Lyon drives it. Renard heads it Everybody up for Barcelona now. Pina into the box. Didn't bounce her way, but a good idea. Closing in on just about a minute left to play in this allotted 4 minutes of stoppage time. Barcelona's been knocking, earned that corner kick, had several runners in the box that last time down. Here comes Serna Gorcevic! No. Let's see.
Oh, I don't know if there's enough on it. From our angle, it doesn't look like she's even gotten touched. It's hard to say, though. It's a good idea from Mariona to be able to play it first time into the path to at least make it look like there's a play on the ball.
I guess it really was hard to see if there's contact. She may have gotten clipped there, but she may have also been trying to take advantage of the moment. Either way, Katja Koroleva not calling a foul.
But certainly Gorcevic, not any sort of retaliation or complaint against Koroleva. So sometimes that is what you look for and how much there is any sort of fabrication in the attempt to either get the foul or not.
Seconds ticking away on Barcelona. Asisat Oshuala! Side of the netting. Barca fans saying, give me more of that.
And this is why I'm shaking my head, why Oshuala wasn't central as soon as she came onto the game, because of the ability to get in behind, make those runs. Can't get around it enough to even get it on frame, but is a threat to go vertical. Just opens up different passing channels and ideas going forward for Barcelona.
Lyon bettering Barcelona. What a match it was between two champions, Lori.
Oh, what a match it was. End-to-end action. Both of these teams not letting us down. And then Lyon just making the adjustments they needed after going down 1-0 early in this game to really start to take a hold of it, whether they had the ball or just using their defensive shape to thwart any sort of attack from Barcelona.
What a way to start this Women's International Champions Cup in 2021. Our final score in our first semifinal from Portland, 3-2 OL winners over Barcelona.